We will start with our roll call and quorum. I'll go to the clerk.
Thank you. Al Cerrito,
Here.
Hercules, Larkspur,
Here.
Pinal,
Here.
Pleasant Hill,
Here.
Richmond, and Vallejo. Quorum established.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go next to item number 2, which is board announcements. Looking for any announcement from board members. Sam Rafael, any?
None in San Rafael.
Okay, Concord. All right, not seeing any here, so we'll continue on with the next item on the agenda, which is public open time. This is for members of the public to respond to us about any item more than likely not on the agenda. Do you have any public comments this morning? Excuse me.
None here in San Rafael, Chair.
All right. Seeing that we don't have any, we'll go to a report from our Chief Operations Officer.
Good morning, everyone. This is Vikin Kasarjan, COO, and replacing Don for this meeting. And Don is online in case there are any questions. Unfortunately, I have to pass along some very difficult news. Greg Tillman of our staff, Associate Director of Rates in Finance, passed away at the end of July. In his brief time with us, he made many contributions to the agency. He was an amazing human being and really left a lasting impact on every one of us. We'll be saying a few more words about him at our September board meeting, but I just wanted to make sure that you are all aware of it. To jump on into the exciting matter of workforce development initiatives, there are many exciting initiatives that to report on from MCE's workforce development efforts. So on building decarbonization clubhouse, we've partnered with the Association for Energy Affordability to host 2 events that will drive more local engagement around electrification. Our first event in August was a really good success, highlighted the work of our Contra Costa County partners, being supported by our Green Workforce Pathways program, including Future Build, Richmond Build, Rebuilding Together East Bay Network. Our second event will be on Thursday, October 2nd, and we'll discuss opportunities for contractors to incorporate more heat pump sales into their businesses. Regarding E-Contractor Academy, it will be held in Concord weekly starting September 30th, Tuesday, September 30th. And this initiative is in partnership with Emerald Cities Collaborative and PG Energy Center. It is aimed at building a technical, financial, and operational capacity with the local, small, and minority women and veteran-owned construction businesses in climate-critical fields such as building electrification, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. The learning series will support about 25 contracting businesses within MCE service area and will end with a graduation ceremony on Tuesday, November 4th. Please share this information with your network to pass the knowledge. We hosted our first electrification contractor power breakfast last week in our Concord office. 26 attendees representing local residential energy efficiency and electrification contractors, project aggregators, and labor unions participated. MC staff provided an overview on the policy framework to reinforce the need for contractors to transition from gas water heaters and high voltage AC to electric heat pump technologies. We also provided an overview of all MC contractor-facing programs, including Green Workforce Pathways, Residential Flex Market, Emergency Water Heater Loaner Program, as well as our new Contractor Finder tool on MCE's website. And the breakfast serves just as a starting point for ongoing collaboration with these important industry partners. Last month, Alexander McGee, our VP of Strategic Initiatives, presented our VPP at the EPA's annual Brownfield Training Conference in Chicago. The panel was co-hosted by one of our VPP partners, RCF from Richmond. Attendees had quite a few questions regarding financing tools, social impact bonds, VPP revenue streams, and the community choice aggregation in general. Just as a reminder, our board annual meeting is coming, a retreat is coming up shortly, Thursday, October 16 at the Concord offices. We will do a deep dive into many challenges that we are facing at MCE and the CCAs across California, and we will be sharing with you the agenda soon. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that report. I just wanted to take a moment and send my condolences to Mr. Tillman's family. It's been a tough year for all of us, so I'm sorry that is hurting both his family and, of course, the MCE family broadly. So we will adjourn today's meeting in memory of him for sure.
Thank you.
And thank you for that report as well. It seems like there's a lot of exciting things, including the contractors breakfast that went on, and it was very successful. 26 attendees is, I think, 8 a.m. in the morning too.
I think so, yeah.
That's a good turnout for that early. So
I just want to appreciate your comment, Director Murphy, because I know you had a loss as well. So my sympathies goes to you as well. Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Are there any questions from board members or comments about the report from the COO?
None
All
here in San Rafael, Chair.
All right. I'm not seeing any. Thank you again for that report. That'll bring us to our next item, the consent calendar. We have two items under the consent calendar. C1 is the approval of June 6th meeting minutes, and C2 is the 2024 MCE power source disclosure. And those are the two items for our consent calendar. Are there any comments or questions or motions that folks want to make?
Move to approve the consent calendar as is.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other questions before we move to a vote? All right, we'll move to a vote then for this item.
Al Cerrito,
Yes.
Hercules,
Yes.
Larkspur,
Yes.
Pinal,
Yes.
Pleasant Hill.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. All right, next item on our agenda is item number 6, which is our renewable power purchase agreement with Mulqueeney Wind Energy LLC. I'll bring it to staff for our report.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, board. Can you all hear me? Good morning, board chair and members of the technical committee. My name is Paul Krebs. I'm a senior power procurement manager, and I was lead negotiator for the Mulqueeney PPA. Today, we present an overview of the Mulqueeney project, the underlying agreement, and we'll conclude with a recommendation to the board. Next slide, please. Great. So we'll start with a overview of the project itself. We want to cover the contract, and then we'll conclude with a recommendation, and we'll leave time at the end for questions and discussion. Next slide, please. Sorry, can you go back, please? I see, okay. Skipped over one item, but apologies for that. So first, cover MCE's goals for 2025. So MCE had 4 main goals this year. First goal was to add resources and specific technologies that better increase our alignment and supply curves. Our second goal was to add renewable resources that provide portfolio product content category 1 renewable energy. And so that's renewable energy generated by projects in California that directly serve California customers. Our third goal was to add renewable and carbon-free resources that help MCE meet its integrated resource planning targets. And our final goal was to add resource adequacy to our portfolio, which is a capacity product mandated by the CPUC and CAISO, which helps ensure grid reliability. So with those goals in mind, we targeted actively wind generation like the McQueenie project, which we received as a bilateral offer from Brookfield. Next slide, please. So about the project itself, McQueenie is an 80-megawatt wind project located in the Altamont Hills in Alameda County. This project can generate roughly 40,000, or enough energy rather, for 40,000 customers in California. This project is advantageous to MCE for several reasons. Firstly, because of its location. It's in an area with limited remaining land for renewable build-out and little remaining transmission capacity beyond what's supported for the McQueenie project. This means that there's less competition for the energy to get out, and therefore better pricing and better returns for MCE on the project. It's being constructed by a reputable counterparty, Brookfield, who has a successful track record of projects nationally and a successful track record of transactions, energy and power with MCE. From a development perspective, it's been significantly de-risked, having already started construction. And additionally, several avian mitigation measures are being taken on site, including turbine micrositing to avoid bird paths, as well as cameras integrated the turbines to monitor. Next slide, please. In terms of the agreement itself, it's what we call a full toll agreement, which means MCE has rights to several products under the agreement, including PCC1 renewable energy, which I mentioned earlier. Now, I want to make a point, not all PCC1 renewable energy is the same. Wind energy, in particular in California, is becoming increasingly hard to come by. Wind generation, the profile of it, and this particular project are an excellent complement for MCE's load shape. And that helps better align our load and supply curves, as I mentioned earlier. In addition, this resource provides RA capacity at a fixed price over the term, but which helps ensure that MCE doesn't have to go to the market and be subject to volatile market pricing. MCE will receive deliveries from this project for 20 years, starting on 10/1/2028. Should this project come online earlier, MCE has an option to those products. And finally, there are no credit or collateral obligations for MCE under this agreement. Next slide, please. Some notable terms about this agreement include financial incentives for seller to perform, including meeting their project milestones and performance obligations once a delivery term is started. Furthermore, Brookfield would be required to employ union labor on the site, pay prevailing wage, and utilize a supply chain, ethical supply chain that prohibits the use of equipment produced by forced labor. This project the agreement would require a security deposit to ensure that the milestones are met. The MCE staff also negotiated a $100,000 community benefits contribution, and that will be provided to MCE prior to the start of the delivery term and will be appropriated in accordance with MCE board-approved community benefits guidelines. Finally, this project will deliver energy to MCE and capacity at a fixed price over the contract term, providing price certainty well into the future. Last slide, please. With that said, we recommend that the board approve the Renewable Power Purchase Agreement between MCE and McQueenie Wind Energy, LLC. We provide this recommendation because of the benefits it provides to MCE and its ratepayers, because of the trustworthiness and experience of the counterparty Brookfield, and the fact that MCE would receive much needed wind generation at a fixed price, thereby reducing MCE's risk and exposure to the market for renewable energy and capacity. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any other staff members that would like to add anything?
Thank you, Director Murphy. I just want to mention for TechCom that on August 29, the Ad Hoc Contracts Committee met. Director Murphy, Director Meadows, Director Sandu, and Director Kohler participated. The directors chose Director Murphy to be the representative of the Ad Hoc Contracts Committee. So the attendees and Director Murphy can provide their opinions about the result of that. That committee is the location where we shared the unredacted contracts with the board members to review, discuss, and then delete all the files. So, but we can have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just add that, yeah, I joined some of our other directors on the Ad Hoc Contracts Committee. It was a pretty seamless conversation, although we did go the full hour, I believe, just asking questions about some of the variables in the contract. I would say that, again, thank you to MCE staff. This is an exciting project at this time. You all have really done your due diligence and kind of both answering all our questions, but also thinking ahead of the game. So in terms of advancing our portfolio, this really fits in. So really excited about it, and again, great work to get us here. I'll go to I don't know if I'm missing anything.
No, that's great. Thank you, Director Murphy. I just wanted to add that I did not have the answer to a question from Director Meadows
Thank you.
about our total commitment on PPAs, power purchase agreements. What is the cost of those, and what would be the cost of adding this new contract in a couple of years? So the total PPA cost is about 8.408 cents per kilowatt hour. And the addition of this new contract will make it 8.457 cents per kilowatt hour. Just wanted to report on that.
Thank you. All right, so we'll go to the board for any questions about the staff report before we have discussion. Sam Rafael, are there any questions on your end from board members?
Director Andre?
Thank you. Vicky, so can you repeat the average cost on the portfolio? It was 8.4?
Yet the weighted average cost of all the PPAs is 8.408 cents per kilowatt hour.
Mm-hmm.
And this contract would make it 8.457 cents per kilowatt hour.
Okay, so it's slightly higher than the rest of the portfolio.
Yes.
Okay. And what percentage of the overall portfolio would this contract constitute?
Probably less than about 3%. I'm doing in my mind a calculation, but I can get you the right number if you would like. This is about the megawatts into our peak of 1,250 megawatts. It's approximately that much.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, I think overall, I think this is a really exciting source of energy and supply for the portfolio. I think it's really will even out the duck curve. So I think it's really exciting that we're looking at this. I guess Director Murphy, were you able to look at comparable? I guess in terms of pricing, were you able to look at comparable contracts to see that the energy costs were in line with market, because we are locked in for 20 years?
Yeah, that's a great question, Director Andre. The committee itself did ask a few questions. I think that's why Vicky had made that comment. There were some questions that we didn't get to in the committee that staff followed up on. So we were able to have some conversations about comparisons and questions that rose to the conversation.
Okay, great. And your conclusion is that this is a
Competitive.
fair contract from a
Oh, yeah.
market pricing perspective?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then are there any provisions in the contract? I understand it's fixed price, but if prices for wind energy decline in the next 20 years, is there a reset or the option of a reset?
Yes, thank you. I was gonna.
Yeah, well, given the short answer is no. Uh, as we are collectively in California growing with our greener and more greenhouse gas-free resources without specifically nuclear, the complementary generation potential of wind generation that complements solar generation is significantly increasing in value because for the short term, in addition to having lost or no longer permits for developing wind, either onshore or offshore, is significantly limited in California. And we need to go into other states. But the short answer is no. It's a very limited amount of complementary generation for our solar generation that is very large in volumes in California.
Yeah. And then lastly, I was just reading that a lot of the federal grants that are available, particularly for offshore wind, have been cut. And so will that impact this particular project?
I'm glad to say that, and again, Paul and Michael, please chime in. I'm really glad to say no. Yeah, yesterday I attended, I'm on the board of Offshore Wind Development Board, and we did talk about federal grants that have been basically eliminated. And there's a significant amount of efforts with the state of California to see if there can be any funding to move ahead Long Beach and Humboldt ports for the offshore wind development. But this is on private land. It's major procurement of generation resources and parts is done, is coming along, and it's an extremely experienced company that the staff has very good relationship with them.
Director Quinto?
Thank you. I also wanted to mention, I did attend a meeting yesterday with the National League of Cities Environmental Quality Policy Group, and we had a discussion on the deep cuts on the federal level for offshore wind, and red states and blue states are all participating on offshore wind, and it's very troubling to see what's happening on the federal level. So know that there's a lot of offshore wind in other parts of the country, and so this will be a huge loss if this continues. This is part of our plan to get to 2045 faster, and so looking at what's happening in the state, where they're forecasting deep deficits in the next few years. And my executive committee discussed that with leadership in Sacramento. And so you're going to see more of that. The state cannot fill the holes that the federal government is taking away from states. So I am truly concerned about our future projects, at least in the next few years. So this is troubling news. So I'm hoping staff can keep an eye on this so they can keep us abreast on the changes, because things change, and who knows what will happen tomorrow. So again, staff, thank you for this presentation. And I'm grateful to see the community benefits, because again, when I did meet with leadership in Sacramento, they told me, thank you for that, because a lot of the CCAs did not provide that with the solar projects happening in other parts of the state. So it's good to see MCE taking the lead on that. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Director Zepeda, do you have any questions for staff about the report?
No questions, just a thought. Obviously, we all want more offshore, but as a reminder, I know I brought it up last time as well, but onshore as well, or offshore. People want more offshore, but also we have wind inland as well. And the funny thing, if you look online on who's selling home wind propeller stuff, it's all the red states. Texas has huge companies there, which is so surprising. But it would be great to kind of look at those options in the future. And I know this is not for this agenda, but just want to advocate that we have wind everywhere. We should take advantage of as much of it as possible. So thank you.
And this is a great project for that, because this is definitely on land. I love the water, but sometimes it's great to be on land. Are there any questions from board members here in Concord? All right, if there's no questions, well, I'll just ask for public comment just in case there's any comments on this item. Absolutely, Mr. Wong.
Just wanted to follow up on Director Andre's question about the percentage of this project as it fits into our greater portfolio. Vicken had cuffed 3%. We just confirmed with one of our staff it is 3%. So Vicken's really good at doing math on the fly.
Thank you.
We do have Dan Sedgedin with his hand raised online.
Oh, fantastic. We'll take Mr. Sedgedin's comment.
And we have one here in San Rafael too.
Dan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, there's always a delay while the 3-minute comes up and so on. So that's just the way it kind of goes. This is a great project, great generation profile. Obviously reduces our risk by reducing the amount that we need to hedge, especially in more expensive hours. So great job. We'd like to see more of this stuff. We know there's obviously supply constraints and so on, but this is the kind of generation profile that moves us a little more towards 24/7 and reduces our risks. One thing I would ask for, as an addition to the excellent presentation, would be to actually show the generation profile. I think it would be helpful for directors to kind of get used to seeing that, the 24 hours of the day. It could be an average over the course of the year and show kind of the output by hour so that people get used to thinking about that in their decision making and realizing that that's kind of a critical component and how different these generation profiles look when you compare it, for instance, to solar. So thanks again. Great project. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sedgedin. I think there was an in-person comment in San Rafael. We'll take that next.
Yes.
Yes, can you hear me? Yeah. So this is Bruce Ackerman, and I support this project, absolutely. And my only comment to add to the others that have been said is that I think, as Director Cepeda mentioned, the red states actually are kind of ahead of us in some ways. Texas added more renewables this year or recently than California did. So it's a curious phenomenon, and I think worth looking at in terms of the how the blue states can get into so much regulation that we have a long queue of things waiting to come online, and we are sort of tying ourselves up with that. This particular project, from my understanding, speaking with CB here, who's on site and talking about this project, it's in Altamont Pass. It's replacing apparently some other turbines from a much earlier era that have been taken out. So it's part of the beauty of this project, part of the reason it's been able to go through smoothly is because it's already on a site. It's already got the transmission resources there and so forth. But getting more wind on land can be even more difficult than getting more solar on land. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Good to see you. And are there any other comments here from the public? All right, if not, we'll go back to the board for any final comments, or I'm happy to entertain a motion for this item.
I'll make a motion that we recommend to the full board that we approve the renewable purchase agreement between MCE and McQueenie Wind Energy.
All right, thank you for that motion, Director Bailey. Is there a second?
I will second.
All right, there's a motion and a second on the floor.
Chair, before we move forward, the technical committee has the authority to approve this in general and does not need to recommend it to the full board. So I just wanted to clarify that to see if Director Bailey would like to adjust his motion.
I would. So I'll make a motion then that we approve the renewable power purchase agreement between MCE and McQueenie Wind Energy LLC.
All right.
I will re-second.
Awesome. Thank you for using our full authority as a
Thank you.
committee. I think I saw someone online from our staff. Was that Don? Oh, Don, I'm sorry. Don, did you have something that you wanted to add before we go for a vote?
Nope. Catalina covered. I was just going to make that same comment. So thank you, Catalina.
And good to see you, Don. Sorry, it was a little box we had
Likewise.
to look up, so I didn't see who joined. I just saw the MCE logo and the beautiful background.
Thank you.
Great. All right, so we'll go to the clerk to call the roll for this vote.
Al Cerrito,
Aye.
Hercules,
Yes.
Larkspur,
Yes.
Pinal,
Yes.
Pleasant Hill,
Yes.
Richmond.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, congratulations, and thank you again for your hard work, team. This is exciting times ahead. That brings us to our next item number 7, which is our amended, virtual power plant tariff. I'll bring it back to staff for the report on this item.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Director Murphy, and good morning, members of the board. It's lovely to see you today. My name is Alexandra McGee, VP of Strategic Initiatives, and we'll be presenting on this item about the amended VPP tariff. So just to get everyone on the same page and level set, as a reminder, MCE has been involved in a virtual power plant tariff. As we know, and as it's just been referenced in the last item, it's important what we consume and how clean it is. But because of the duck curve issue in California, it's also becoming just as important when we consume it. And so creating flexibility of when power is used, not just what we consume, is actually a pretty tricky question across the board for all of California. And one of the solutions that we are looking at and think is very viable is this development of a virtual power plant, which takes existing building stock, so no new permits or no new land or no new ocean waters, to make the power more flexible with distributed energy resources, or DERs, as is referred to in the tariff. These DERs are able to shift load to more appropriate times of the day, maybe when it's cleaner, greener, less expensive. For example, for an average homeowner, they don't necessarily care when their water heater heats the water, as long as they have hot water. It could happen at 3 a.m. or 2 p.m. or midnight. As long as there's hot water there, the end use is served. And so we have the flexibility of installing devices that are grid smart. So this tariff is meant to facilitate the installation of more grid smart devices in order to create that flexibility within the community. These can be, installed in your basement or in your garages, and things that allow for a decentralized approach. So it's complementary to these larger PPAs that have more utility scale. Instead, we're kind of tucking in little nooks and crannies throughout the community, these sensitive grid smart devices. So the tariff, as originally written, is meant for the pilot project in the city of Richmond. And as your board has recently approved, we were able to secure a grant from the state of California, from the California Energy Commission, to expand from that pilot phase to all MCE communities. So from Richmond, make it eligible to all jurisdictions within MCE. To do so, we would like to expand the tariff to make it eligible to all MCE communities as well. The tariff outlines the way that we compensate participants for their role in developing this flexibility in their homes and in their businesses. Currently, it's a flat rate depending on the anticipated value that those devices would provide to MCE and to the grid. So there's a list in the tariff document if you want to go one by one, but they range from $2 a month to $20 a month, just depending on the max amount of flexibility we think we can get from each of those devices. For our residential customers, these can be aggregated together. We want to create a system where we're meeting customers. I know we're not supposed to end sentences on a preposition or on a, but meet them where they're at. We want to make it flexible for them so it can be customized to different homes and businesses. And so we want to make it a buffet. You know, some people will want EVs, some people need batteries, some people have heat pump water heater needs. And so not every home, not every business is going to be the same. The tariff is built to be customizable, to be sensitive to those community needs because every community is different. So for a low-income customer participating in the program, you can build your DER buffet to up to $50 a month in bill credits, depending on what your home is able to be to install. For a general customer not on a low-income program, that is capped at $40 a month, and this goes directly on their bill. So it essentially acts as a credit to reduce the cost of their total bill. For a commercial customer, this is capped at $300 a month, and for an industrial customer, it is capped at $750 a month. And again, these are estimates, conservative estimates based on the anticipated value we would derive from the flexibility of the dispatch of those devices. What we'd like to do is expand this to all MCE communities and at the same time allow for the tariff to be adopted to infuse some of the funding that we got from the state of California to cover the cost of these initial bill credits. So it's outlined in the tariff there. We were able to secure, I think it's $765,000 to bring down the initial costs of some of these credits to MCE. But the ultimate goal is to make these credits self-sufficient. So we are going to be deriving value from the flexibility of the devices. We will be using that to influence what we are able to put into our bidding structure at the CAISO. And once we're able to get paid for the flexibility that these devices provide, these credits provide kind of a revolving virtuous cycle of benefits because we're taking the funding that gets passed through MCE, sharing it down to the customer and the install partners and MCE to make sure that these things are sustainable moving into the future. So we have the boon of some grant funding at the beginning, and we are creating systems to make the bill tariff more accurate and then have it be self-sustaining moving forward. And that is an overview of the item. Happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you so much for that presentation. We'll go to the board for any questions. We'll start here in Concord. Any questions? Yeah.
Not a question, but just a comment. That's really great that staff got this grant, and I'm excited to for customers in Pleasant Hill to take advantage of this. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, any questions from the Somerville office from the board members? Any board members?
I see no raised hands, Chair.
All right, do we have any public comments on this item?
None online and none here in San Rafael.
And not seeing any in Concord, so that brings us back to taking action. Are there any motions that board members would like to make on this item? Including the staff recommendation, which is basically to approve the amended tariff.
I'll move the item.
All right, thank you, Director Zepeda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second again.
All right. We have a motion and a second. We'll go to a vote then. Thank you.
And just to clarify, Cepeda made the motion and Andre seconded?
Yes.
That'll
Thank
work.
you.
I think we had 2 seconds if there's a whirl in that happening.
Thank you. El Cerrito,
Yes.
Hercules,
Yes.
Larkspur,
Yes.
Pinal,
Yes.
Pleasant Hill,
Yes.
Richmond.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Again, great job to staff. Thank you for a wonderful agenda that you all put together and how much work you all have been putting in. I know some of us council members, we've been on recess for August and have been enjoying it, but you all have been hard at work. Some council members have not been on recess, but I've been enjoying my August. And also just wanted to, as we go to the next item, the committee and staff matters, just want to thank the board members for joining this committee. I know, this committee is a pretty challenging one in terms of the agenda size, in addition to the board packets, but it's been great. And it's obviously we have a pretty full team here today, so that's really exciting. So again, thank you for you all's participation. And I don't know if folks saw from the San Rafael office, but we also have Director McCormick here from the city of Lafayette who'll be joining this committee. His appointment will be at the next board meeting. So looking forward to having you here, Director McCormick. And again, thank you to the entire board, to the entire committee for ensuring your own participation. It's really exciting to be going through these things. But I'll ask also if there's other committee or staff matters before we adjourn our meeting. All right.
None here in San Rafael.
All right, not seeing any. That means we'll adjourn our meeting at 10:44. This morning, we'll be adjourning our meeting in memory of our MCE family member and staff member, Greg Tillman. And thank you all again. Thank you, Greg, for your work, and we send our sincerest condolences to his family. Have a good morning, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.